In 1935, Eastern Color was the only company to publish all 12 issues monthly of Famous Funnies. And they also came out with a 3-issue series called Favorite Comics. This was a free comic series, 68 pages each, in the 4-color format paper stock. And it was a mini-series. It appears that all 3 issues came out at the same time. They even have the same artwork on the cover of all 3, but in different colors. David McKay had another big year, publishing 4 of the popular 10x10 square-sized books, all soft cover, coming out that year with 25-cent cover prices, 52 pages. They gave us Henry, #1, also Little Annie Rooney, 1-shot, and Popeye #1 and #2, one of the most popular characters of the 1930s. Speaking of popular characters at the time, Mickey Mouse magazine had its Volume 2 monthly issues coming out from Disney. That format was 5 1/4 by 7 1/4 in size in a newsprint saddle-stitched format. These were a giveaway series and ongoing monthly. But eventually they would come to an end in the middle of 1935 and be replaced by Mickey Mouse magazine, put out by Western, now with a 25-cent cover price, and there would be 60 monthly issues starting in June 1935. The size and dimension would actually vary, though, from one issue to the next. The first 4 issues came out in 1935. Also coming out that year was Crimco Comics, a promotional comic book for Crimco. A chocolate flavor milk drink features in 2 pages of the ads. And Crimco put out a series of issues, 184 issues in total, in a 2-color format, red and black, tabloid newspaper size, debuting in May 18th, 1935 and running for exactly 4 years until May 13th, 1939. An example issue would be issue #9, which featured a full-page to half-page comics in each issue. Wild Bill was an airplane adventure strip. Jim Hawkins was a pirate story by Dick Moores. Johnny Brains, Susan, Pinto, King of the Range, Sammy, Great Deeds of Great Americans, also by Dick Moores. Todd and Tom by Nick Penn, Mako the Monk, and Lucky Lucas. In partial color, 16 pages, all newsprint format, 8 1/2 by 11. Published on behalf of the Crimco Company by the Better Cartoons Bureau, Wright Wrigley Building in Chicago. And the local dairy bottling Crimco had exclusive charge of the comics to Crimco customers. Also during the year, Gulf Funny Weekly continued from the Gulf Oil Company, and they were putting out a weekly tabloid newsprint large size format. These were given away free at the gas stations. The series ran for 422 issues in total from 1933 to 1941. So in 1935, there was 52 new issues. Famous Comics was reaching the end of its run for Zane Eppy, publisher of this newsprint format. 24 pages, color cover. Also coming out was the one-shot Scrappy's Own magazine, published by Evan Co. This featured a color cover and was newsprint binding saddle stitched. Greenberg published their version of Henry as a one-shot in 2 colors, red and blue, with dimensions of 11 1/4 by 8 1/4. This was a hardcover book with dust jacket, a one-shot. Hall Syndicate published Coe's Crosstown Carnival. This was a one-shot, hardcover square bound in a black and white format. Hallmark Books gave us Season's Greetings. This was a saddle-stitched one-shot with dimensions of 6 1/4 by 5.35. Color cover. Random House gave us The 7th New Yorker Album. This was a thick 164-page book, dimensions 9 by 12 1/4. Color cover, black and white interior, bond paper stock, hardcover format, and included comic strip reprints of The Little King, among others. And some of the oddball books of the year, Roger Bean came out as a 68-page one-shot with blue and yellow colors, black and white interior, dimensions 9 by 10 3/4, and a cardboard cover for this one-shot. And a format that was Quite popular in the mid-1930s is what we call the Tijuana Bibles. These were unlicensed and many times mature adult sexual type comics that were being printed, and two of them include Mae West the Sodbuster, which was a black and white comic, dimension 6 by 3 and 13/16, yellow matte paper, saddle stitched with erotic topic nature. And The Love Guide was another example. 20 pages in this black and white comic, 4 by 5.5 inches, one staple erotica. And this one is interesting because it features many popular characters of the time, such as Mae West, Popeye, Pete the Tramp, Tilly, Mac, Maggie and Jigs, Toots, Casper, Major Hoople, and Moon Mullins. 1935 was a fascinating year as National Allied would debut, eventually becoming DC Comics, becoming the biggest comic publisher who would help influence the golden age and the boom of superhero comics, which was going to happen shortly. It also showed that comics were truly now becoming a commonplace thing on the newsstands. Eastern Color putting famous funnies regularly out every month. David McKay still publishing, and the Mickey Mouse licensing was getting better marketed, which would lead to better comics coming up in the 1940s.